Good afternoon. Even though you had no option of being here, we thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Jacob here at PCNN News, and here's our special today, An Era in Review.
632, Rise of Islam occurs. 732, Battle of Tours. 1054, First Schism in the Christian Church. 1066, Norman Conquest of England. 1071, Battle of MANZIKERT. 1095, First Crusade. 1258, Mongols siege Baghdad. 1271 to 1295, Marco Polo's travels. 1324, MUSA'S pilgrimage. 1325 to 1349, travels of Ibn Battuta. 1347 to 1348, bubonic plague in Europe. 1433, end of ZHENG's voyages and the rise of Ottomans.
We begin our afternoon broadcast today with the expansion and intensification of communication and exchange networks. The improvements in transportation had eventually led to more trade along the trade routes. Let's go out to our colleague in the field to get more information on this event. Joel.
Thanks, Josh. I'm out here in the field analyzing trade routes. From the reports we have received, trade seems to be flourishing in the exchange of luxury goods, and commercial growth is increasing from innovations in maritime technology like the astrolabe and bigger boats, along with developments in monetary technology like paper money and the minting of coins. Now to our sponsors.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by China, the Byzantines, and the Abbasids. And now for our grand sponsor.
Welcome back. Continuing on with our report, we go back to Joel out in the... We apologize. The emergency alert system has been seen to put into effect. We will now report back to Joel in the field for more further information.
Thankfully, it's not all bad. They seem to be greatly assisting the prosperity of the Silk Road and Indian Ocean trade routes. You know, Josh, this reminds me of the caliphates. They are both spreading culture to new places, and some merchants are even setting up communities of their own. This is sure to spread lingual and cultural traditions. Surely this can't do anything bad. No disease will ever be able to spread along the trade routes.
Thanks for that report, Joel, on the trade and empires. We now continue on to our leading story on the continuity and innovation of state forms and their interactions. Now in the field is our colleague Jonah with more information on the story. Jonah?
Thanks, Josh. I'm out here following the changes in the Byzantine government. They seem to be following the trends of other empires lately by combining traditional sources of power and legitimacy with innovations better suited to current circumstances. Some faces of these innovations include the Islamic states, the Mongol Khanates, along with city-states that are organizing themselves in new ways.
Sounds interesting. And these people are organizing these systems by themselves?
Well, now that you say that, Josh, some states are combining foreign and local traditions to form new and improved governments.
Interesting. Is this trade affecting the process at all?
Actually, yes. Interregional contacts and conflicts between states and empires encourage significant technological and cultural transfers. Events like ZHENG's voyages and the Crusades also encourage this transfer.
Well, thank you for that report. That was Jonah John Baptiste on the report about continuity and innovations about state forms and their interactions. For our final story today, we meet with special historical correspondent, Professor Aaron Adams, for some increased details on the increased economic productive capacity, along with the consequences it has. Aaron?
Oh, thank you, Josh. Innovation stimulated agriculture and industrial production in many regions. Agricultural production increased due to technological increases and advances. This also caused an increasing demand in Afro-Eurasia for luxury goods. Crops were transported from the indigenous regions and homelands. Okay, now let's talk about the fate of cities and how they vary greatly. Factors that contributed to declines of urban areas included invasions, disease, war, basically rebuttals, everything. Basically, people didn't like one thing, another thing happened, death, decline. Okay, now let's talk about increase, the good part. Hi. As a previous period I talked about, the main forms of labor organization included free peasant agriculture. They weren't really free, you were slaves, but you just got a little bit.
My producer tells me that we have lost transmission with Professor Adams and are unable to reestablish the transmission. However, that is all the time we have for today's special on An Era in Review. We thank you for joining us here at PCNN, and from the rest of the crew here, we wish you the best of luck on this AP exam.